So please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Amanda, you're on. Or Karen.
Go for it. No,
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Okay.
You're in charge of it.
Ready to get started?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, so in this class, we're gonna talk about building your social media and how to get clients from your social media. And this isn't just a continue to post, and then you get business. No, we're actually gonna talk strategy. So I am consistently for about 5 years now getting 30% of my business from social media, and it didn't happen by accident, it happened intentionally. So we're gonna go through that process. It is pretty, I get these kinds of DMs pretty often, and it's from organic, it's from tagging local businesses, it's from tagging my location, putting myself out there, and other agents then follow me, then that turns into agent referrals, which now I would say is more of, that's taken off a lot more in my business, agent referrals from social media, and it is fabulous. I actually got a call yesterday from an agent referral for a $2 million property. And she, yes, I know, amazing. But she found me through social media. And so I want you to come into this conversation with an open mind that you're not just talking to your ideal client, which you are, but there's other avenues out there with the local community, with business owners, and with agent referrals. So let's get started with that. Now, I hear this all the time, and that is, Amanda, but I'm not creative. I don't know how to do all of the transitions and the features and the sounds, and I want you to remove that from your mindset, because listen, at the end of the day, we are not influencers. We are not professional marketers, right? We are real estate agents. What matters today is you having the mindset to get your message out there to attract business through social media. So we've got plenty of different platforms for social media, right? Who in here feels overwhelmed because there are so many different social media platforms? Yeah? Yeah, right? There's tons these days. And while it feels good to post on every single platform, I want you to take a step back and I want you to think, where is my ideal client hanging out? What social media platform, when they're looking to go get information, where do they go? Because depending on your ideal client, that could look a little bit different. So we've got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I'm sure there are plenty of others that I'm not even thinking of. But for today's purpose, I want you to go deep in one social media platform instead of trying to spread yourself thin across all the different platforms. I will tell you, most of my content hangs out on one social media platform. Sometimes I'll repurpose it on others, but at the end of the day, I know where my ideal client is. And so instead of just wasting time trying to hit on all the platforms, I would rather you focus on one. Again, because we are not influencers, we are not professional marketers. We are real estate agents looking to find our clients through social media. So for today's conversation, I'm gonna focus here on Instagram for different types of accounts because I get this question very often. And that is, there are so many different types of accounts, how do I know which one that I should pick? So you've got personal, you can have a personal account, you can have a business account, which is good because it gives you the ability to put your contact information and gives you insights, which means that you can look at who's looking at your content, the age, the gender, what cities they're coming from. And then there's the creator. So the creator is my favorite. That's what my social media Instagram account is, because it allows me to have a little bit more features, such as music and engagement tools, stickers, polls, all of that. You do get that with the business, but I would say specifically the music is one Just like Mike was saying about the copyright. Well, when you have a business account, you're very limited, which means you can't pick the trending audio as often, which is really great. It's a great feature to utilize and get your content out there. So when you are creating your profile, I want you to think about it as a walking business card. Now, this is going to be for Instagram, but still, I want you to take the same mindset and apply it to whichever social media platform you decide to go all in on. So for me, I've got my handle in my name. So you will see that my handle is On the Move with Amanda, and my name is Amanda Ryan, Dallas Fort Worth TX Realtor. My bio is DFW, buy, sell, build, and then one-liner, helping smart buyers and sellers move with confidence, home tours, and real estate advice. No fluff. So I point this out because you'll see that I have Dallas Fort Worth TX in my name, and then in my bio I have DFW. That is on purpose. So if somebody is going into the search bar and typing in DFW Realtor or Dallas Realtor or Fort Worth Realtor, TX Realtor, my name is most likely going to come up to the top because I've got all of those different keywords in my name. Does that make sense? I want you to put a website into your profile. Now, I use Linktree. Has anybody here heard of Linktree before? Yep. Okay, great. So Linktree is basically one website, one link, where you can put multiple links. What I don't want you to do is go fill up the Linktree with 25 random landing pages or websites. I want you to pick a few that are going to speak to your ideal client. That might be home evaluation, your search, and then it might be a Calendly, like schedule a call with me here. Again, don't go into all of the random insights that you think somebody would want for landing pages for websites. Don't fill it up. When you give somebody options, great. When you give somebody too many options, it's too overwhelming and you just back out. Anybody else feel like that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I'm out, right? Contact info. So here, when you have a creator account, you can put your contact information. Now, one thing that I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but you can either put your direct cell phone number in there, or you can get a Google number or some sort of virtual number. The reason that I do that is I want to track the calls that I get from Instagram. So I have a different number for my Instagram, for my YouTube, for my Google My Business, because I want to be able to track where those leads are coming from. So that's just one way to do it, and it's an easy way. And then story highlights. So these are going to be these highlights here when you post a story. If it's worthy enough to stick around on your profile longer than 24 hours, pin it to your story highlights. Now you'll notice I only have one up there because at the beginning of the year, I looked at my profile and I'm like, oh my gosh, these stories are from like 8 years ago, like 2020 market, 2018 market. Like, I'm like, okay, I got to get rid of all these. So I just like decided to eliminate them all and start over. So now I've got my buying tips, but I like to post stories for my highlights on local content, buyers, sellers, new construction, because if somebody is wanting specific information, I want to give them one area to go to on my profile. And those are, oh, and then pin post. So has anybody here played around with the pin posts on Instagram? Okay, great. So when you post on Instagram, you have to post it first, but you can go to your profile, hold it down, and then you can put pin to profile. You could put 3 pin posts. And I like these to be, if somebody were to go to your profile, what are the 3 posts that you would want them to check out first? So I've got most Texan things to do in DFW. I'm trying to hit the local side. I'm trying to hit relocation, right? How to leverage equity. So I've got real estate content, and then I focus a lot on new construction. So I've got this one, which is a builder. It's a reel for when you purchase new construction. So we're gonna go over, and this is gonna be very rapid fire, but if I'm going too fast, just let me know. We're gonna go over your ideal client. We're gonna go over your content pillars, and then worthy content to engage with. So who here has an ideal client? Ingrid. Ingrid does, for sure, okay? All right, so when I decided who my ideal client was, that's when I got very intentional about the content that I was putting out on social media. It calmed my brain down on what to post, because have you ever felt like, oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about that I don't even know where to start. I'm not even gonna post. Yeah? So when you get super specific on who your ideal client is, that's going to help you with narrowing down what to post. So if you've attended my classes before, you know that my ideal client is Grace. She is made up in my head, but she is very real, okay? To me, this is who I create all of my content for. And that's a 36-year-old. She's married. She currently lives in Arlington in her first home. Now her family is looking to expand and purchase new construction. They're sick of spending their weekends on house projects. They're outgrowing. There's not enough closet space, right? So they want to use that equity and they want to purchase a new home. They currently have a child. They're looking to grow their family. It's just your young professional. That's my ideal client. I got very specific on who she is, what her current living situation is. Who is that? Sorry. Grace. My bad. It's Grace calling. I got specific on what her current living situation is, where she wants to go, what she does for fun, where she hangs out locally in the community. So when I am creating content, I'm creating it around what she wants to see. So if you don't know who you're talking to everybody. We don't want that. Now, before you say, Amanda, well, if I start creating content for just one person specifically, am I putting myself in a hole where then, in my case, somebody that's a retired single veteran wouldn't reach out to me because they don't relate to this content that I'm putting out for Grace? My answer to that is that's not at all. You're not hurting yourself by just posting specifically to your ideal client. It's putting the content out there. You're speaking to that person, but other people are still going to relate with the content that you're putting out there because you're coming from an educational standpoint, local, and all of that. So if you don't have an ideal client, I want you to take a picture of this slide and get very specific. If you have some of these, already put together on who you think your ideal client is, maybe you just plug it into AI and say, hey, help me with figuring out who my ideal client is. And then get very specific on what they do for a living, their current situation, their pain points, bringing them to pleasure, right? So in this case, Grace's pain point is that she's spending her weekends working on house projects for her 1980s Arlington home when she would rather be going to local boutiques, going to the Mansfield Pickle Parade, going to all of these different things, spending time with the family instead of working on these house projects. That's her pain to pleasure. What challenges are they facing? What values or lifestyles are important to them? And then how do they make decisions? What makes them act? What motivates them? So again, when I got really specific, that is how I'm able to get clients from social media. The two that I put up here actually both found me through social media. And you can see they're literally my ideal client. I mean, they didn't own a house previously. They came from a rental and they didn't have their first baby. You could see she's pregnant, but still, they still resonated with the content that I was putting out there because I was speaking to that young professional. They were like Grace packaged together. So when you get specific on who it is that you're speaking to, I promise they'll relate with you. So content pillars. I know that we hear about content pillars all the time, well, at least in my world. But I want you to, after you've figured out who you're talking to, think about the pillars that are going to resonate with them for the content that you're putting out there. So again, when I was talking about how there's so much that I could post that I don't even know where to start. This is what calms me down and gets me centered. I've got 4 different types of content pillars. This is what I'm creating content around every single week. So first is local businesses. I am a huge advocate of local businesses, and I don't cook. I do not. No, not at all. And so I am posting date night. I am posting the coffee shops, and I'm going in face to face with these businesses, but I'm repurposing it because I'm tagging them. I'm purposely hitting the local businesses that my ideal client is hanging out at. I post every single Thursday date night with my husband, and I will tell you, if it's a Thursday and I'm not posting date night, I have people asking me like, where'd y'all go? Did you stay in? Are you out of town? What's going on? And what's cool about that is because I've been very intentional about posting it, people will ask me, hey, my husband and I haven't had a date night in 2 months. We have a babysitter this weekend. Where should we go? That right there tells me that people are paying attention. Now, are they saying, hey, Amanda, I want to buy a house? No. But am I resonating with them? Am I building a relationship that's relatable? Am I becoming a friend to them online? Yes. That right there builds trust. So local businesses is one that I have as my content pillar, and I highly recommend that you do too. When you're posting and you're tagging that local business owner, it means the world to them. And guess what? They're going to share it, which gets you in front of their audience then. And if you're intentional about the local businesses that you're posting, most likely you have a similar ideal client, right? Number 2 is lifestyle. So I am posting all the time about married life. I am constantly posting about Teddy, who's my Craigslist puppy. Yeah, he is a baby. He is this. Oh, I love it. Well, he was first Buddy, and I was like, okay, I can't do Buddy. So what's close? So Teddy is, who I have. What's funny is that I have so many clients that I met through Instagram, ended up then working together, met them at a house to show them, at an appointment, and they'll say, oh, by the way, we love watching Teddy. He does Zoomies all day, every day. That boy never runs out of energy. And I'm like, yeah, you're telling me. So like, again, building that relationship, and I'm letting them into my world just a little bit. That right there builds trust. I'm also posting about like inspirational quotes. I go on a lot of walks and runs, and so if I'm listening to a podcast, or if I hear something, or if I see, I moved out to the country, Burleson, but it's country to me, okay? I have a riding lawnmower. That's country. And so I will post about that, and again, I get my ideal client who resonates with that. They'll say, oh my gosh, I love that quote. Can I steal it? Yes. Or I'll take a screenshot of a podcast, and they're like, can you send me the link to that podcast? That looks like something I would want to listen to. Again, just lifestyle. Let them into your life just a little bit. And I say a little bit because I think that there's a I don't know what the word is, like a level of privacy that we all need, right? And like, especially if you have kids and you don't want to put your kids on social media and all of that, that's just fine. But still, building that lifestyle, that connection, allows you to like build something deeper than just being somebody that they think of when it comes to real estate. And then I've got 2 other content pillars. These are my content pillars that are around real estate. So I've got one around my ideal client, specifically with new builds. So I am constantly posting new builders. I'm posting communities, any incentives that might be going on, the building process, tips, anything real estate that's going to relate to my ideal client. And then I'm posting from there tips. So sharing stories, giving advice. Specifically with my ideal client, I talk a lot about rates and how to leverage your equity. Because I know that in the ideal world, my ideal client owns a home and wants to use that equity then to buy another home. And so I'm always posting about equity and how to leverage that. So if you don't have your content pillars, first figure out who your ideal client is, and then from there, what's going to resonate with them. Creating these 4 pillars will help you figure out what to post. So depending on who your ideal client is, but creating your content pillars, I would put a local, content pillar 1, local, 2, lifestyle, 3, real estate, and specifically 2, the type of real estate that your ideal client would resonate with. And then tips and advice. What problem do they have? What's the solution that you can bring to the table? Okay? And then when you're posting, always end it with a call to action. I want you to think with every single post, before you post it, ask yourself, what do you want the viewer to do with this information? Do you want them to tag a friend? Do you want them to tag a local business? Do you want them to drop an emoji? What do you want them to do? Share it with somebody, comment, like, give it a thumbs up. Tell them what to do.
Amanda, I have a question. I know that you were talking about tagging your local businesses and stuff. Do you recommend, like, even if we're just, like, if we were just to go to Starbucks or something like that, just sitting there, doing it like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And Starbucks is good. I would say, go to your local business, but yeah, absolutely. And actually that brings up a good point because I get asked all the time, if you visit the local business and you tag them, do you ask them for permission to record or take photos? I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I don't. And I never get anybody that says, oh my gosh, don't take a photo of my business, don't tag me on it and put me in front of your 8,000 followers. No, right? So I don't ask for permission. Now what I will do, and we'll talk about DM strategy, but what I will do is I will have a list of local businesses that I want to hit. And if I want to meet that business owner, I will send them a DM ahead of time. And I actually have it as a template in my phone where it's, hey, I'm Amanda Ryan, also a local business owner. I know that your business is the backbone of our community. I would love to meet you face to face. Can I stop by Tuesday at 3 o'clock? Will you be there? I've done that with so many local businesses and have got in front of them. And not only does it build a really strong relationship with them, but it allows you, again, to get your content in front of their audience by them sharing it and vice versa. But I mean, how good does it feel? Like, let me ask you this. If your client were to, take a picture of their new house and tag you and say like how excited they are about you helping them, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that just made my day. That's how that local business owner thinks too. So yes, tag them, sit there, just take a photo of your coffee or whatever, tag them. on your story and
If they
share.
if they don't have a social media presence, like if it's like if it's such a small little local thing that they don't have a social media presence, or they're not on social media, how do you?
Maybe just not tag them, but just reference it or whatever, then, but for this purpose, ideally, you're gonna wanna find social media, but let's take all questions in about 20 minutes, okay?
Yeah, and I think that that's gonna be rare. I mean, even my dad has social media. Like, and my dad, yeah, anyways. Okay, I get this question often, and that is, okay, I've got content, now how do I make it work for me? Well, here are 7 different ways that you can repurpose your content. So I just took a theme, you don't need 20% to buy a home, and I broke it down into different ways that you could repurpose this same topic. You can make it a reel, still think you need 20% down to buy a home, that's the reason you're still renting, so that's my hook. A carousel, same idea, but broken down into multiple graphics. An Instagram story or a Facebook story, again, just sharing that concept and making a quick story about it. And making a series. Most buyers think they need 20% down, not true. Here's what I'm typically finding, yada, yada, yada. Email to your database. Google My Business, buying a home in DFW without 20% down. And this is my favorite, tie in your listing. This is the home I send buyers who think they need 20% down. So this is ways to repurpose one topic and make multiple pieces of content that's going, again, part of your content pillar for how you can take one idea and then just multiply it. Because I think that we all think we have to come up with the crazy content that's unique that nobody's ever heard of. We've got to be so creative, and that's just simply not true. Somebody needs to hear it from you, and maybe you've said it before on a post, but maybe they just need to hear it in a different way. I can't tell you how many times I'm saying the same thing, just packaged differently. And it resonates with somebody, or maybe they weren't in the frame of mind to hear it when I posted it a month ago, but now they are. All right, so who here feels like planning and posting and creating is just so overwhelming? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, got it. All right, so let's break it down, because what I will tell you is that I am not sitting down posting or creating that post every single day that I'm posting it. So I'm planning and I'm batching my content, and I'm treating it like lead generation. I think that's one of the biggest things is that, we sit down and we block out 90 minutes to call our database, right? We block out 90 minutes to call for sale by owners or to go door knock or host the open house, but we're not treating social media like that. If you truly want to use this as a lead generation tactic, you've got to time block. And I'm going to show you how I plan and batch my content. So I brain dump. I set a timer. I pull away and I think, from my client, what have they asked me? What was the seller struggling with? What's a story that I can share from this week? What's something that's happening locally? Something that a client asked me where I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that just seems plain as day, but it's not. Like, all right, we got to actually talk about this. So I want you to sit back and think and just brain dump it. Put it all out there. Write one topic of your content for each pillar. Now you've got 4 posts that you can stretch over a week's time. Does that make sense? I see y'all taking some photos up here. Do you want me to? Everybody got it? Okay. So brain dump your content, put it all out there, figure out what are the 4 pieces of content, one for each of your 4 pillars. Okay? Then we're going to turn those topics into your copy. And listen, I am totally leveraging AI these days to help me with the copy. And so it took me before an hour to do this. Now it takes me 30 minutes to get 4 pieces of content put together. So every post has one clear thought behind it. Because if you think about it, you could be talking about rates. And then you're like, okay, wait, who is this for? Is this for buyers and explaining that rates probably aren't going to move in the next year? Or am I trying to hit on sellers who might have a home that has a 2.5 rate and talk to them about the rates, right? So I want you to think always one clear thought on who this content is for. And then I want you to create this outline for every single post, whether it's a carousel, a reel, a short form video, a long form video, it doesn't matter. And you can absolutely plug this into AI and say, here's the topic, now create it in this outline. You want a hook, which is going to get them to stop the scroll, right? You're gonna give them a bold statement. You're gonna make them stop in their tracks. You're gonna give 2 to 3 value points. Then you're gonna teach or explain, reframe what you just already had said. And then you're gonna close it with a call to action. So this is the framework that you're gonna put together for every single post that you create. Makes sense? And again, this can be for the written copy, this can be for videos, it doesn't matter. Take this and put that in to AI. Tell it that you want it in this format here. And when you're creating this too, I want you to think you have 3 seconds to either stop the scroll or keep them scrolling past your content. So what is it that you can say or do that's going to keep them hooked? Then after you've created the copy, so you've got 4 posts, you plugged it into AI, you told it to write out the script or the reel, the graphics, any text that's going to go on top of those, and then you asked it to create a caption for you, okay? You got that for 4 posts. Now I want you to go create those posts. And I know that there's AI platforms that will do this for you. I haven't got there yet, so listen, if you're ahead of the game with that, then you might already have AI creating your social media posts for you. But I don't. I'm still creating them. So after I've got my copy, then I go in and I plug it in to either a script or my Canva templates. One thing that I do is I've got like 3 or 4. If you go to my Instagram, you're going to see that a lot of my posts, a carousel, which is, you know, the scroll of like multiple images, you're going to notice that they're very similar to each other and they're posted very often. That's because I'm creating those templates and I'm just duplicating it and putting in the new content. I'm not here to be the next marketer with all these different new, no, I just want to get the information out there. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to have, you know, all these different fonts and yeah, I don't need all that. So I'm literally taking the same template, making a copy of it, and then just putting in the new content. So I don't want you to think that you have to create a brand new post every single time and make it different. And I think that there's something to be said about branding in that aspect, that when you have content that is very similar to each other, people are like, oh yeah, that's Amanda's, right? So get one template that you can duplicate. And then in 6 months when you are hanging out and you've got time, create your second template and duplicate that one and then just switch them, right? Don't overcomplicate this. Then I want you to go schedule your content out. Go on to Meta Suite, schedule it out, go into Instagram, schedule it out. It doesn't matter wherever you're putting the content, but go schedule it and then repeat the system next week. So what you're doing is you're time blocking 90 minutes to batch create this content so that you're working on it for 90 minutes this week, and then you're not having to touch it until next week because it's done for you. Does that make sense? I feel like we overcomplicate it, and that's because we don't have a system around it. And that's the biggest thing. And then the engagement. So I want you to treat this like lead generation. I can't tell you like how much I've missed out on things because I'm not doom scrolling on social media like I used to. And that was before I was creating or treating social media like a lead gen strategy. So I'm going on there for about 10 minutes a day to check my notifications, to check my DMs, respond to any comments, right? And then I'm out. I am off social media. I don't want to get wrapped up in the doom scrolling and all of that because that's just a distraction, right? Sure, can you time block to go engage with your clients or other local business owners or things like that? Yes, you can. But I think at the end of the day, the message I want you to hear is that if you're not time blocking social media and you're just treating it like everybody else does with social media and you're just doom scrolling, before you know it, you're spending hours that you're not going to get back. And what is that doing for your business? Nothing. So just like we time block everything in our life, I want you to time block social media. Does anybody here ever feel like burnt out of social media? Yeah. I get exhausted. My husband will send me like 15 reels and he's like, did you watch that video? I'm like, no, Nick, I did not. I did not. Show it to me later. Like, I do not want to sit on there because I will just get, oh my gosh, I will go down a rabbit hole. Or like my friends will say, oh my gosh, did you hear about the whatever that's going on? I'm like, no. Actually, we went to brunch on Sunday and they were like, yeah, that trend that's going on, you should do it. I'm like, never seen it. Because I'm not treating social media like everybody else does as an escape. I'm treating it as a needle mover in my business. So time block. Time block your content, putting it together. Time block to go engage and check your notifications and then get out. And perfect. That's what I've got. All right. Thanks.
All right. Well, first off, thank you.
I went
Thank
really
you.
fast, and I know that I covered a
well,
lot.
One of the
so.
things that you had taught a class a while back, and I think there's a few of us in the room that took a lot from that, was trying to find the ideal client.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a few of us that really dove into that, and I think that is your number one thing, and that really did. From somebody that's known you for a little while, I saw your content change. I saw the way that you started doing things change, and obviously your business is doing quite well. So that would be one thing that I take from this, is that everybody should definitely be working on their ideal client and knowing exactly who you're trying to focus on. But I would like to hear from anybody else what your ahas were, and if you have any questions, we have Amanda for a little bit longer, and then she's got to go do that closing thing that she keeps doing all the time. So, we think it's her client. We're not sure. She may just show up at a title office. We'll see. But
and actually, my closing today is an agent referral.
nice.
Yeah, from social media. I think that was
In your Instagram, it said that, and I've seen this a lot, you'll have the information or the content, and then you'll say, DM me home for more information. So when you say that, does it go to your link tree, or where's that going?
Okay. So I do pay for an extension, and that is ManyChat. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, and you certainly don't have to start with that. You can do it manually as well. And if you are doing it, okay, let's back up. When I first started, I was doing it manually. And when I would tell somebody to come at home, I would have a template just in my notes app so that when somebody did comment that, I could DM them that plain text. I'm not having to sit here and type it out every single time.
So as it come in,
I was DM.
information, it's not an automatic.
Right. when I first started, yes, that's what I was doing because I had the time, right? I was like, well, I mean, I time block it, I go on there. And the other thing too is I turn all my social media notifications off. They do not stay on because I do not want to get distracted. Just like my email notifications are not on either, right? Because how often do we just become reactive at that point? So I'm DMing those people and then commenting, hey, just sent you a DM, check your inbox. Now, because I am getting multiple DMs, I pay for ManyChat. It's about $30 a month. And you set it up so that if somebody DMs you, or if somebody comments that specific word, you tell ManyChat what the response is. Then when you can say like home, so somebody comments home on it, ManyChat sends them a DM from you, and then I'm able to type in like, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. Schedule a call with me here. And then they can click here in the DM and then it will send them like my Calendly. I tell it what to do, the automation.
Hey, Amanda, was that money chat or mini?
M-A-N-Y.
Many.
Many.
Sorry, she's from Ohio, and so her accent's a little off sometimes. But
True,
many.
true.
M-A, not like Texas. So it's Manny.
Manny. Many.
Many chat. So,
Many.
so what I also hear from that is if we're not looking at spending $30 a month,
Yes.
then our ideal thing is while we're doing that brain dump and we've got that 30 minutes of everything else, another part of that needs to go to what is our reply if somebody
Right.
does say home or drops the Christmas tree or something like that. Yes?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
so making a template in our phones or somewhere.
And here's the thing too, make the call to action the same on all of them and make your response generic so that it can be the same response on all of them. Again, put it in as notes in your app or put it as a text,
One word.
a text, what do you call that? Like replacement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
So
template.
that- yeah.
Different phones have different ways, but yeah, a template would be what we're looking at.
Yeah, template, whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't need to pay for it. You could do it on your own.
I like it.
But yeah, that's how you do it.
Melinda?
You talked about the personal business and creator account. So what's the cost for the creator account? Is there?
Oh, no, it's free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's the
One of
thing
our
here.
favorite F
Y'all,
words.
social media is free. Your ideal client is literally living on social media. You don't need to pay for anything. That's the thing. I've built my business on social media and I've never once ran an ad. And so, yeah, I hope that you get at least that. You don't have to spend money on a ManyChat. You don't have to spend money on ads. You just need to be consistent in what you're doing.
One of my questions, right now we've got a lot of listings that are kind of stagnant, sitting on the market. Is your approach to getting your listings sold the same as this, or do you have another approach that is working for you to get some movement on some of your listings?
Yeah, so when I am posting my listings, I approach it in a couple of different ways. One is I want to sell the lifestyle of that listing, and I want to sell the lifestyle of the ideal client for that listing. So creating video, creating anything like highlighting local, like here's an example. If you have a listing in Mansfield, you can put like actually I just did it for my Weatherford listing. Go onto my Instagram and I put, if you're looking to, when I hear somebody say they're looking for land and living in the country, I send them this listing. When somebody says that they're looking to live on 1 acre, I send them this listing. When somebody says that they're looking for 3 cars and space for a pool, I send them, and it's my listing with different photos of my listing. And then the call to action on that is comment Weatherford. But so I'm trying to sell the lifestyle on that one. And then also, depending on who the ideal buyer is for the listing, I think about every single listing, like reverse engineer, who is the ideal buyer? What's their pain point? What's their pleasure? And so if I know that they're gonna be a move up buyer or they're gonna be downsizing, I try to make the content towards them, like interest rates or if it's like a very affordable home, I'll like just go into a mortgage calculator and screenshot different scenarios for, like if you put this home with 5% down, with 10% down, with 15% down, with 3% down, and I'll just screenshot different scenarios and put those in the caption for that home. Like that's going to speak to the ideal buyer if the monthly payment is important to that person. Like, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm approaching it from either a lifestyle standpoint or I'm approaching it from the tips and advice, what's important to them to sell it.
I just followed you on social media and I already got something back that says, thank you so much for following me.
Yeah,
She just did that. You missed it. She just texted
I was
that back
just on
over to you.
it. So that's ManyChat. So every time that I get a new follower, it immediately sends them a DM. And actually, what does the DM say?
It says, thank you so much for a follow. Are you here for real estate content or just a local wanting to keep up with what's going on?
Yeah. And I get so many replies from that, especially local business owners. And then they usually will invite you out. Like if you don't approach them, they might approach you like, hey, we'd love to have you out here. So yeah, that's ManyChat. But that's also, you could do the free version of that. Every single time somebody follows you, you have a template in your phone and you just copy and paste that and DM them. Thank you so much for the follow. Are you here for real estate content or are you here for local insider tips? Thanks for the follow.
So one of the things I also want to point out, we've got new agents in here, we have experienced agents, and we have agents that are on social media because we like to doom scroll, and I feel like you kind of called me out on that, and I don't appreciate it. But we
had
also
to.
have ones that really want to build our social media, okay? I know that you did not do this overnight.
Right.
Right? This is not something that if I start doing some of this, that it's going to overnight just turn into what Amanda has built.
Right.
Somebody that's just starting, what would your number one suggestion? And how do we keep the energy going when we don't see immediate? This is not the short game. This is more of a long game.
Totally.
What would you say more about that?
So one, get your profile in check. Treat it as if it's a walking business card. When somebody says, hey, do you have a business card? I say, no, follow me on Instagram. And they're like, great, what's your handle? And so, like, that's because that's usually my ideal client. The first thing that they see is my profile. So I want that baby to be sharp. I want it to have who I am, what I do, who I serve, how to contact me. Get your profile in check. Number two, figure out who it is that you're talking to. Don't be posting about investors putting 20% down and then the next day go to USDA with 0% down. What? Who are you talking to here? You've got everything going on. People are like, yeah, this doesn't resonate with me. So figure out who it is that you're talking to and then time block to batch your content. Just like anything, right? Dion, we were just having the conversation in the elevator. Man, expireds, they're a beating. Yes, but if you keep at them, they will come to fruition. Same thing with social media. It's in the repetitiveness, it's in the consistency where you're going to find the results eventually. So put it in your calendar, and just because you don't have somebody that reaches out to you for a month, keep at it. It took me a very long time. And it's free.
One of my favorite F words, for sure.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have?
It might be.
Nothing? She's here for just a second. Nobody has anything about social media on this?
Did you start over on social with whatever previous account you had, or did you start one specifically for this?
Good question. So it depends on how you want to approach it. For me, this is my only social media account other than our team's account. And that account is just specifically for real estate, and our VA runs that. My account is if you were to go, I probably have like college photos on there still. Just don't scroll all the way back. But yes, but yeah, this is the account that I started from back in the day, and it is just still like still my one account. Yeah. Actually, before I became a realtor, I was really in the fitness world. And so it was like Amanda Knight Fitness. So I bet there's like my bodybuilding pictures from back in the day on there too. I just changed my handle, changed the content that I was putting out there, and make sure that your profile is public. Make sure that your profile is public. That is like, what do we call it, a secret agent?
Right.
Don't be a secret agent. Same thing. People are like, well, I don't know what she posts or if I'm gonna even find that that content is gonna be valuable. I'm not even gonna follow by, I'm out. So make sure that it's public. Do y'all know how to, oh, actually, I've got some good stuff in here. Can I,
You're,
Okay.
I have you for another 27 minutes.
so
So you're on the clock, sweetheart.
I've got here, if you wanna know what to post, take a picture of this. This is for your Instagram stories or any of your stories. I've broken down day in the life, home tours, value add, share a story. This is gonna help you with thinking, okay, what do I go post on my story today? Got it? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next, reels. Take a photo. I'm very bossy.
I know, I was like, man,
Sorry.
she's got the, it's not overtime. You don't have to be that.
Take a photo now. Now. Okay, reels. If you are wanting to record videos and you don't know what to record, start here. Advice and tips, 5 reasons to sell your home, 5 reasons you should move to Texas. Home tours, here's what $500,000 gets you in Arlington, Texas. Local highlights, favorite coffee shops. The next one that I'm doing are my favorite best patios in DFW. And I've broken them down by cities. So now I've got content for like the next month. Best patios in Fort Worth, best patios in Arlington, best patios in Mansfield, right? It's not rocket science, it's just, yeah.
So you just doing like a
Oh, hold on.
agent show?
Hold on,
Time.
Leon.
Hold on, time out.
I can't run that fast.
Okay, go.
When you're doing what $500,000 homes look like, are you just using your listings, or are you going in and just recording?
So I'll
For
do
showings.
I'll do my listings, or I will do new construction. I'll ask the agent if I don't have, like if I want to highlight something specifically, I'll ask that agent first. Yeah. I will ask the agent because I've had agents tell me no, like their client is a cop, doesn't want his stuff out there, or,
Always ask the other agent.
yeah. I do ask the agent.
Yeah, always ask the other agent. A lot of us do want our stuff on other people's social media, but
Yeah.
there are those one-offs that I work with a lot of heroes, so I have sheriffs and
Yes.
attorneys and that kind of thing, so it can
Yeah.
be an issue.
And I have agents that reach out to me all the time. They're like, hey, I would love to feature this listing. Can I go record? Yes. Schedule it on Broker Bay. For my vacant listings.
Right.
Don't be going and disrupting my clients, right? But yes, I'm all day. Absolutely.
The more the merrier. Miss
The
Judy,
more
what
the
you got?
merrier.
So Amanda,
Hold on. Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
I know you office out of our Mansfield office.
Yes.
And I know you teach several social media classes. I know you've taught on how to do reels and how to do posts and different things like that. So I am asking maybe one Friday in Mansfield if you can do a class on that. Whenever you're available. What do you think?
I would love to. Just for you, Judy, because you asked so nicely.
Like, I don't know if y'all can read mind language right there, but yeah, she just had some words in her head. No.
Yes, I would be happy to. And Carrie is the best because Carrie's like, Amanda, this day, this time. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And it was 3 months out, but hey, yes, put it on my calendar
Well,
for June.
So here's
We'll
the
get it
thing
booked.
is that as agents, we schedule 2 to 3 months out. And one of the things that you were discussing was time blocking. And if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist, right?
Correct.
And so we definitely have to do this. If you plan on being intentional with any type of marketing, with social media, with anything, it has to be on the calendar. So I would go to believe that Amanda knows that every week she wants to put some kind of content out there. But if I looked at her calendar right now, I guarantee you she's got that hour and a half that she just discussed blocked out so that she does not schedule anything else during that time.
Correct.
That is being intentional with your time and making sure you're blocking your calendar and holding your time. I don't know what the word for it, but making
Yeah.
sure that you're holding your time accountable to your business.
And I use it as a business tool, not to get lost and escape from reality like most people do, right? Also, take a picture here.
Oh, I don't want to be in this.
This is for carousels. If you need any type of inspiration on carousels, everybody knows carousels, right? It's when you've got multiple images. There's content there, ideas for you.
Oh, hold on. Wayne.
Yeah.
Short legs.
Deeper in. Okay, so the question was, can I go deeper into carousels?
Oh, gotcha.
So what that means is, carousels is when you have multiple images for like graphics, right? Like multiple photos. So for example, Wayne, if I had, here are the 5 tips to prepare your home for the market. Slide 1 might be that title, 5 tips to get your home ready for the market. Slide 2, these are images. Slide 2 would be tip number 1. Slide 3 would be tip number 2, right? And then at the end, I'd have a call to action. So I turned those 5 tips into 7 different graphics to keep somebody scrolling through my content. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and
each one gets its own post, gets its own graphic. And the reason that I love carousels, I love videos, but carousels are really where they're at right now. And you could do up to 20 images. The reason that I love carousels is that, have you ever gone onto Instagram and you see somebody's post and it's the first graphic? If you don't interact with it, you don't like it, you don't comment on it, you just scroll, next time you open the app, you're gonna see that person's content, but you're gonna see the second image. If you don't interact with it, next time you open up Instagram, you're gonna see the third image. So that's why I like to do at like 10 to 15 different, because I've got 10 to 15 different opportunities for that person to finally do something with my content. So the algorithm puts my post in front of them 15 different times if I have 15 different graphics on
And
it.
carousels are on Instagram, just for some of us that are not
Yes.
as well versed. And then also, there are templates. So one of the things that you've got with KW is Canva, and you've got the upgraded version, the Platinum Killers, whatever it's called. And on there, they have templates for carousels. So if you're like, I don't know what to do, we have it on there. We also have carousels in the Go marketing hub that we have, and they've got other templates in there as well. So you can easily, like she was saying, make a template and just use that every single time.
Yep. This is the one that I was talking about when I'm highlighting my listings. We need more space. What I'm sending my clients, we need more space in Weatherford. Country living, but not too far out. We love hosting, right? This is my listing. And so that's just one way that I'm able to put content out there for my ideal clients, because I still feel like that resonates with them, and highlight my listing. Do y'all know how to read your insights? No. Okay, let's go over that real quick, because I feel like that is really important. The reason that it's important is when, like Carrie said, I'm originally from Ohio. So when I got into real estate, all of my content, I went to my insights and I was able to see that my followers were from either Cleveland, Ohio, or they were from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And that's because that's where I went to college. So I had to think, okay, how can I get a larger reach here in DFW? Now, my main cities are Fort Worth, Dallas, Arlington, Mansfield. Like that's where the majority of my followers are. So I use my insights to track that. Now, I don't think that I can look at it on.
That's on your, you can't do it on the app, huh?
No, you can do it on the app. I don't think I can do it on my computer. Yeah, these are my insights for the last 30 days. And that's the other thing. I'll at least show you this, and then I'll show you where to find your, where everybody's following you from, city-wise. Okay, so I'm able to see here on my insights how many views I've had in the last 30 days on my content. And of those views, how many were followers and how many were non-followers? What was the most engaged with content? So we can see that stories that was the most engaged content, and it was mostly by my followers. Reels had more non-followers, we can see. This is my top content. So these are just different types of content. Some of those are stories, some of those are reels, or this one here is a carousel. So what I like to do is study what performed really well, what got engaged with the most,
We understand.
Okay.
You're from Ohio. It's
Thanks.
okay.
Yeah, girl. She could say that because she's also an Ohioan. So I like to study what performed really well, and then how can I recreate that same type of content next week. But I lean on my insights for that. And then you can go here to see when people are interacting with you and what times. My people they're 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.ers. It's good to know.
Well, that's also because one of the things that I've heard a lot is that, oh, you need to post at 12 o'clock. But with these carousels that you're talking about, you know, you could post it at 1 a.m. if you're up late, whatever, and you throw it on there, and they're just going to catch it whenever they're going to catch it. It's just that they're catching it at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock at night, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you batch, create, and you schedule out your content, then you're not posting at 1 a.m.
There you go.
However, but yes, if you post at 1 a.m., you'll be fine. Okay, if you do go to your Instagram, when you're on your profile, you can click on Professional Dashboard. And you can see, okay, if you click, I can click on Views. And if I scroll down, I can see where my people are from. So my audience, top cities, Fort Worth is number 1, Dallas is number 2, Arlington is number 3, Mansfield is number 4. Am I hitting my ideal client locally? Yes.
Help you make your ideal client by looking at the insight?
Yes. Well, help me make my ideal client know, seeing what type of content performed well for my ideal client, yes.
Fine tuning it, you know.
And the other thing is, in that, for my audience, I can see too, the top age ranges, 35 to 44.
So you're nailing it, girlfriend.
Grace, that's right. And then 67% of my gender, women. So I'm getting in front of her in that young professional age, and then here locally, Fort Worth, Dallas, Arlington, Mansfield. Use your insights to help you stay accountable to making your content that's relatable to your ideal client. That's okay. I'm like, is that me?
I'm on that same site, and then it says inspiration, so I clicked on it. And
Oh yeah,
something that was new, so I clicked on it. That's how I saw it.
You're fine. We're fine.
All right,
All
we've
right.
got.
Any other questions that we have for Amanda?
Thank you.
Hey.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another way just to support, and you can also stalk, if you're not already following, go on and follow. You can see some of the stuff that she's posting. Do you have a problem if we see something that we really like, if we duplicate it?
No, not at all.
So we heard that. So if you see
Not at
an
all.
idea that she's done,
Yes.
then you are more